Here is part 1 of the 5th of 8 stories about 6th grader Little Jack. In this 5th hero's journey tale, Little Jack goes through a supreme ordeal. Most of the clip art used in these slides were drawn by the author's former 6th grade student, T.J. Hutchison. This very gifted young man drew many of the pictures utilized in Miss Debbie Dunn's conflict resolution curriculum. This 5th story is based on the 5th step of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey process. This 5th step is called the Supreme Ordeal. Here you can see the 12 steps of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey process and the 7 main archetypes. This story will encompass step 8, the Supreme Ordeal. In this story, Little Jack finds out that the parents of his maternal cousin, Jordan, are going through such a rough patch that they are temporarily sending their son to live with Little Jack and his mother. Little Jack finds this really upsetting because he and his cousin usually don't get along. Jordan has bullied him frequently during past visits and was very abrasive about having to get his own way. Little Jack is afraid that his friends might join with Jordan in ganging up against him. To prevent this and other bad things from happening, Little Jack goes to his mentor, the Ancient One, to get some advice. Please note, this boy is called Little Jack by the older guys he hangs out with after school. Why? One of the 8th grade boys is also named Jack. To avoid confusion, they call the older boy Big Jack, and this 6th grade boy Little Jack. This is Chapter 1. Little Jack hears bad news. Little Jack enjoyed going to the Valentine's dance with Kelly. They talked on the phone now and then. They were even planning to go to a movie together sometime. Little Jack still would go and shoot hoops with Tom, Will, Big Jack, and the other guys. Even though Tom continued to bring out the occasional box of cigarettes, he no longer pushed it like he did before. Little Jack also noticed that Will and he were not the only ones not smoking. Big Jack always turned them down too. Now and then, some of the other guys said no as well. So Kelly and those guys weren't the problem this time. It was his cousin, Jordan. Jordan was a year older than Little Jack and in the 7th grade. He was his cousin from his mom's side of the family. One Friday, Little Jack's mom said, "Jack, your Aunt Trudy and Uncle Ralph are going through some tough times. They asked if Jordan could come to live with us for a while until they get things straightened out." Little Jack asked, "Are they gonna get a divorce like you and Dad did?" His mother said, "I don't know, Jack. I hope not." Little Jack asked, "What's Jordan gonna do about school?" His mother said, "He'll go to your school. He's coming day after tomorrow." "That soon?" Little Jack asked with concern. His mother said, "Yes, Jack, that soon." Little Jack went to bed feeling rather unhappy. Neither he nor Jordan had gotten along all that well in the past. He had always been so relieved when each visit had ended and Aunt Trudy, Uncle Ralph, and Jordan had gone back home. Little Jack said out loud, "But now Jordan's going to be living with me? Yuck!" Suddenly, Little Jack thought of something. He went back downstairs to talk to his mom. Surprised, she asked, "Jack, what are you doing still up?" Little Jack said, "Mom, I just thought of something. Where is Jordan gonna sleep?" His mother said, "He'll sleep in the guest room." That way you'll both have some privacy." Little Jack said, "Phew, that's a relief. We always had to share a room in the past." His mother said, "That's because your aunt and uncle use the guest room. They won't be here this time." Little Jack said, "Whew, okay. Well, good night, Mom." His mother said, "Good night again, Jack. I love you." Little Jack said, "I love you too, Mom." This is Chapter 2. Little Jack Visits the Ancient One. The next day was Saturday. Little Jack decided to find the Ancient One. He thought, "I just have to get this all figured out before Jordan comes tomorrow. After all, I want to be able to set firm boundaries with him so he doesn't take advantage of me like he has in the past." Little Jack started walking, deep in thought. Before he knew it, he was at the top of the hill. To Little Jack's delight, the Ancient One was already there. Little Jack said, "Ancient One, you're always here when I need you. Thanks for that." The Ancient One said, "Of course, Jack. You made such a strong call. I heard you loud and clear. What can I do for you?" Little Jack said, "Ancient One, I have another problem." The Ancient One said, "Jack, I'll be happy to help. What is it?" Little Jack said, "Okay, my cousin Jordan is coming to live with my mom and me starting tomorrow." The Ancient One asked, "Why is that?" Little Jack said, "My Aunt Trudy and Uncle Ralph are having problems. I think they may be going to get a divorce." The Ancient One asked, "How old is your cousin, Jack?" Little Jack said, "He's 13 and in the 7th grade." The Ancient One said, "With your cousin still being so young, I imagine that he's feeling rather sad and confused right now." "Yeah, but—" Little Jack's voice trailed off. The Ancient One asked, "What is it, Jack?" Little Jack said, "Well, Jordan and I don't get along very well." The Ancient One asked, "Why is that, Jack?" Little Jack said, "Well, he can be kind of a bully sometimes, or really annoying practically all the time." The Ancient One asked, "What reaction do you have?" Little Jack said, "Well, I get mad. Why?" The Ancient One explained, "What I mean is that there are generally 3 main reactions to conflict that people demonstrate. One reaction we will call the silent child. One reaction we'll call the communicator. And the 3rd reaction we'll call the rageaholic." Little Jack said, "I suppose the rageaholic is someone who goes off on someone." The Ancient One said, "That's right." Little Jack continued, "And a communicator is a person who talks things out and tells people how they feel, kind of like you and I do." The Ancient One confirmed, "Exactly, Jack." Little Jack asked, "What's a silent child?" As always, the Ancient One turned Little Jack's question into another question. He asked, "What do you think?" "Well," Little Jack thought, "I suppose it's someone who gives someone else a silent treatment, or sulks, or mopes a lot." The Ancient One said, "Exactly, Jack. The silent child type is one who keeps silent about their feelings. They may pout, or mope, or hide out in their room, but they won't explain what is bothering them. They keep all their sadness or anger inside. Little Jack said, "Oh, that makes sense." Tune in to the second part of this video called Little Jack Goes Through a Supreme Ordeal.